Hello YouTubes, today we are going to get to the bottom of that DCC Ready mystery that we had on the last video. But first I have a special belated birthday message to Jock Taylor in the Sunshine Coast of Queensland, Australia. Messages from his nephew Tony. And Tony says, "Jock, get off your backside and get into the train room instead of watching all these YouTube videos." Happy birthday, Jock. So, where were we? Oh yes, I installed one of these DCC Ready circuit board thingy-majigs in one of my favourite locos, and then when I tried to run it in the track, nothing happened. I got a gazillion comments telling me I had to get a blanking plate or a blanking plug for those 8 pins. You see them? So I ordered some. Thanks for that. Anyway, they arrived, and unfortunately these little plates are literally just 8 pins in a board. I have a solution, right? Let me give you a closer look. Now, I had planned to install a new PCB board thing into this PA1 and then install this little chip. However, when I took the body off, I remembered I had installed all sorts of LED lighting, and the wiring is just too thick, and I would have to isolate the motor for this video, so I'm not going to do that today. I want to keep this video a little bit shorter, a little bit more simple. So we'll go back to the original one where I have already installed said board, as you can see, but I do have a Digitrax decoder on this one, but that's okay. For this experiment, we can just pop that out of its 8-pin slot and you'll see it's exactly the same. So this should actually be wired ready for one of these plugs. However, as you can see, and as I mentioned, this little plug is not going to do anything because the pins just come straight out the back and they're not connected to anything. It's a relatively easy fix, but that is why these particular ones that I got from AliExpress were so much cheaper than the ones you get at a reputable store. Time to fire up the soldering iron. Now, because these plugs usually come good to go, there wasn't actually a lot of information out there on what pins I need to join together. Thankfully, I do have one loco that's DCC ready with one of these plugs, and it seems to be that you need to jump from there to there to there, and similar, the opposite side, there to there to there. A sort of L shape and an upside down L shape if you're looking at it sideways. I don't know if this is the same for all these 8-pin chips, but that's what I'm going to try here. So, what I do know from previous experience, you can't just run solder from there to there to there. Solder likes to ball up a bit like mercury does. So what I've done instead, I have prepared a couple of tiny wires, which are actually from a resistor that I'm not using, but it should do the job. So I've just bent them into a little L shape. So one will go there, and obviously one at the other side. So a wee bit of flux, a wee bit of solder on my iron. Let's give this a go. Let's hope I don't get the shakes. So I'll do this side first, and then at least it won't be wobbling about. Don't need a huge amount of heat. It's very fine work we're doing here. So now that that one's in place, I can squeeze this down and do the rest. Need more solder, I think. Let's just check that. This is quite hot. That should do the job though. Let's get the other side done. Once I get used to this, I'm sure I'll do a much nicer job of it. Not quite happy with that one there. Let's add a wee bit more solder. It's better. Hopefully you're still seeing that. Find my second little L-shaped piece of wire. If this all looks a bit too intimidating, just go and buy the proper ones that are good to go. But I think they're like $10 each, whereas these are only like $1 each. There's a big difference. And if you're Scottish, you'll know exactly why that matters. Okay. You need 3 pairs of hands for this, don't you? Let's get that one on first. Oh, first one came off. Right, let's just clean this up a wee bit, make sure we've not crossed onto the other pins. Ping! Make sure our pins are straight now that I've squished them. Okay, right, here we go. We have L-shape there, L-shape there. Nothing interfering with those other two. I think the ones that you buy, that pin will actually be missing. So that one there will be missing and that one there will be missing. So there's no danger of crossing them over. I think that'll work. Let's stick it in loco and find out, shall we? Now, because this is an L shape at each corner, it doesn't really matter which way around this goes. It's going to do the same thing when it goes into its holes. So let's make sure we get this lined up. I think one of my pins is still a wee bit out of line. I think I need smaller pliers. Yep, so that's shoved into place. This isn't going to interfere with anything because nothing in the decoder is actually attached at the moment. As you can see, all the wires coming out of the decoder chip are not connected to this. I've got power pickup coming from the rails on one side and at the front, and sorry, that's the back, that's the front, going into this board, and they will be doing whatever this blanking plug does to send power down to the motor. I hope. Right, let's get the shell on, make sure this all works as it should. Lovely. Right, see you in the track. I really hope this does not destroy my favourite loco, or at least one of my favourite locos. Right, we're on the track. Let's make sure we're on DC power. I'll give it some gas, see what happens. Perfect. Even my wee light comes on, so I've not wrecked that. Lovely. And reverse. Oh yeah, I didn't install a light at the back of that. Oh, I'm so happy that works. Wonderful. Now, I must stress, just because my soldering job worked on that little chip, on this little board, on this loco, doesn't mean it'll work for you. So do your research, make sure that if you get one of these little chips, that you're soldering the right pins together. If you get any more research than I found, please leave a comment, because it was pretty hard to find. Now, I was going to put one of these boards into my PA1 Union Pacific, but I might be getting some sound decoders very soon, so I'm going to hold off on that. Thank you for watching. I will see you very soon with the next exciting episode of Who Knows What. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.